Good evening, just chatting from my phone today. A little less prepared, just wanted to get this one out of the way for tonight. Um, Lots happening in the world. Uh, and I think I saw this note about how Bitcoin always performs better when there's uncertainty. And well, India and Pakistan are fighting again. And stocks like Apple just took a dip, along with Google as well. So very interesting to see the squeeze as people are selling, and it looks like for buying Bitcoin. Um, I saw that there's a potential squeeze. A lot of short positions, apparently $4 billion of short positions that get closed out once Bitcoin passes 100K up on the up again. Now that might send it up to 200 and then back to 120 or something. Anyway, super volatile, but it's a great time to be in Bitcoin, at least building in Bitcoin. Meanwhile, been reached out to people investing in Bitcoin, and I guess the topic of the op return is on people's minds. Um, how much data should be allowed to be pasted onto the Bitcoin blockchain? There's many perspectives on it. Um, I think I'm definitely more on the side that, if the protocol allows it and you're willing to pay for it, then you should just be able to do it. At the end of the day, you can't really stop the Bitcoin blockchain. People are just going to do it anyway. Lots of creative other approaches have been happening, right? And it's interesting to see how minor incentives play around it. Um, People like, I really get why people are concerned about spam. Like, then small transactions become expensive. Like if you're sending $10,000 or whatnot. But isn't that what Lightning was always intended for? In fact, I think it kind of gives Lightning more of a reason to be around, to allow for and allows for a stronger, more secure network, allowing removing the limits on the op return. But yeah, people are fighting it. People are trying to create a new consensus to kind of skip it or ignore those transactions. But I doubt that they'll be successful because at the end of the day, incentives really really matter, and play matters too. I think that's where like the topic of today is about play. In reaching out to investors and reaching out to people, I'm really starting to incorporate more like playfulness in my messages and conversations. Like, this doesn't really have to happen the way I expect it to happen, and I can play with all the possibilities that and create new possibilities with people. Um, And this is also a practice. I think very much like how these conversations are. I like to just play with what's on my mind, and hopefully soon add more people to these conversations and uh, and continue that trend. It really came up, I think, today in a little drive with my wife about how, like, as human beings we kind of get stuck between extremes a lot of the times, or maybe it's just our ADHD brains, but um, so either we're stressed out or bored. But in between all of that, I think we can really embrace play as a practice, and you know, I think the word play kind of lands different for different people, right? Like words have different meanings for people, and you don't want to play around or mess around in business or with important things. Uh, People have issues with the words that Trump uses in his presidency too, right? Because it's like, oh, so that's not presidential. Um, and I get that, and also I think you can have serious sincere play as well. I think in many ways we like to distinguish and separate and not include different parts of ourselves, and we don't allow for ourselves to be both playful and serious, while it very much is a possibility to be playful and serious. So yeah, that's my quick notes and takeaways for today. I will continue again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.